Hi everyone and welcome back to the Overlap Fan Debate brought to you by Sky Bet, and on the back of an international break we're going to get right into the biggest talking points of the Premier League weekend. So it's been a busy international break. I'm not a massive fan, as you know, of international breaks, but how do you think it's gone?
What you're not a fan of, just before we get into it, the fact that you're...
I think it's boring.
You were sub for 8 years.
Yeah, I'm bored. I don't know. Is it that exciting, international football?
I must admit, I struggle with this one at this stage of the season. We said there'd be a lot of pull-outs, didn't we, a few weeks ago because of the time of the season with, you know, big games for clubs. And that's what's happened. And it just, at times, I think, devalues probably the games. And you end up with sort of like half a team playing. Obviously, managers still get something out of it. But I think when you're in the midst of title runnings, Champions League, sort of final stages, relegation battles, players, coaches, managers are just nervous as hell about getting injuries. And I think
just have one. I don't understand why you need to have two. You just have one on the Saturday, and then let the players get back. Gives them an extra couple of days than what they'd normally have from an international break.
I mean, even from a fan's perspective, I don't think even fans like it at this time of the year, do you?
No, definitely not.
So I think this March friendly, I think does need to be thought about moving forward.
It's an interesting one, and too many people know the story. They know what happened with Steve Holland, and I think some of the reporting around it has been a little bit disingenuous. I think from my angle, it's a failure of management, really, managing a different character maybe within a group. There are some people that suit a group, there's some people that suit a dressing room. But if someone's valuable and valued, you make them feel that way. If you feel, well, actually, he's down there, he's behind Dyer and Walker and Trippier and all these other players, he's probably thinking, hold on, I'm getting a bit of stick from the coaches. They don't really rate me. And so, you know what? I don't need to be here. If you're in an environment that's negative towards you, it can affect your primary environment at Arsenal. It can affect your confidence.
Because last year, to be fair, they'd already started to dip a little bit. Yep. This is the start of the running. It's real. It's happening now. And you know, obviously, on Sunday, it's huge. It's a crossroads game. I think these games sometimes can signify, and you can sometimes speak too big as a pundit, but they can sometimes signify, they can sometimes create history. You will look back as Arsenal if you win on Sunday and win this league as the game as the defining moment. There are all these games over the years that you look back on in 15, 20 years. That match is here now. I'm not saying there isn't 8 games to go and there isn't other big tests. You could win on Sunday and then lose 3 games after that, but I don't think you would. I think if you won Sunday, the confidence and belief would be huge and cities would be dented slightly.
No, I was looking at it. I actually think 90 points. I was looking at the points on the international break about, you know, what you might need to do, and that would mean, I think 90 points, that would be Liverpool dropping 4 points from where they are. That would be Manchester City, I think. So if City dropped 4 points and Liverpool did the same, I think Liverpool are a point ahead of them. I actually think everyone is looking at Arsenal's fixtures and thinking, I could see Arsenal dropping more than 4 points with the away games that you got. So again, I go back to what Gary said. I think winning there, not just psychologically, but obviously for the point situation, I think the belief it'll give you in the other away games as well, that if you can go to City and win, you'll believe you can go to Old Trafford and win, you can believe you'll go to Tottenham and win, which they're still not easy games, are they?
Yeah, maybe. But hey, look, why should anyone trust us in this running? Why? Because we haven't done this before. So we have to build that trust, right? It starts on Sunday. We have to build it. We have to show people we've got the mentality to go to these places.
Postecoglou has brought in such a feel-good factor around the club, because if you're not winning every week and you're not top and you're not fighting for a chance, you've got to be enjoying watching your football every week. It's vital, particularly for a club like Tottenham, where the history is based around that anyway. But success should be challenged for a title, and I think the summer and January, we should be seeing that we are at least getting towards that aspect.
So you feel like you've got the right manager, it's just whether the owner fully backs him and really goes for it?
Yeah, I love Ange. Said it's nice to actually like a manager that you've got, which I haven't for the last 4 years. And is he the man that comes and changes everything? I don't know yet. You know, he's at a level that he's not been at before as well, which I think he'd readily admit. But the way he talks, the way players talk about him, it does give me hope that actually, do you know what, that we've got one here.
Do you ever see Spurs challenging for a title or winning a title? It's just not something we've ever been brought up with or seen.
We did. I mean, under Pochettino in that season where they got champion.
Yeah, but did you think they were going to win the league?
No, but I think that's where they got sort of closest to winning major trophies. No, I don't. And it's not maybe because of what Tottenham do. It's more because of what the others are doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever going to... You said he's got that sort of, if you like, reserve of cash. He's just never going to do what even Arsenal have done, to be honest with you. In the last few years, the Kroenke family have just...
Well, why not?
I just don't think he's got it in him.
Well, you actually look with Arsenal and Tottenham, before Arteta came in, where basically Tottenham finished above Arsenal for about 5 or 6 years in a row, or something like that. So, and listen, I think the job Arteta's done is brilliant. He got them to a certain level, and then what you're talking about, Liverpool did the same, and then they had to go Van Dijk, Alisson. So he's had to go sort of Declan Rice. He spent big money on Havertz. Whether that takes you to a title, we'll see.
So with Moyes, I love him, but the football he plays is negative. You go to football and you want to watch everyone attack. You want your team to win. I go to football and I sit there and I go, I don't know if we're going to win this because we're kicking back all the time. You want to go to goal. Passing back constantly. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Can it ever get better for West Ham in terms of won a trophy? You're saying you should be in the top 6, but you're actually 7th now. So you're roughly where I think most people in the room who weren't West Ham fans would say West Ham should be, or maybe actually slightly overachieving. I mean, is it just better football? Because I don't see West Ham ever being higher in the table, if I'm being totally honest. But when you talk about fighting, I'll go back to the sort of the PSR breach, and obviously Everton had that for a long time, felt like it was going on. You're appealing. What is the feeling within the sort of real fan base of Nottingham Forest that you've been really hard done by, or you were expecting what you got?
The rules, we were expecting it because we knew the rules. We knew the rules when we came up. I don't believe we'd have stayed up if we hadn't have breached. I really don't. I feel like going up...
So you think it was worth it?
Well, it was because we stayed up. Will it be worth it at the end of this season? We'll see.
But on that, I mean, every club that's been charged, we've almost, when they've signed, like Everton, we've known about Everton's madness. You've been calling them the worst owners in the Premier League for 3-4 years. When they signed 34 players, that's something. Is this right? If it doesn't feel right, Chelsea. I know Chelsea's maybe, but even all their stuff that's going on, you know the clubs that are actually making a little bit of a mess of it.
The big thing about it, they know themselves. You know yourselves, don't you?
But we weren't
signing accountants who go.
You signed 34
this is not good.
players.
But we weren't signing 34 players that were £50 million each. We had to build a squad from having 5 first.
That's an army.
Players. Yeah, but it worked. I know some of them, the Lingards, didn't work. Players like that. We had to build a squad. It was unique. It wasn't like Luton had this core squad and team and they've gone up with that. That's incredible. We couldn't do that, and we knew that, and we knew we had to sign. Yeah, it's rash. We probably did sign a few too many, but I truly believe. Yeah, but it worked last season. You were saying that. You know, the 29 players at the time, we stayed up, so it worked. However,
you spent 100 million and just stayed up. That's not working. That's
well, it's the Premier League.
I'm hoping City fans, if they were to be found guilty,
well, that's
are not going to start then trying to justify what's happened if they were to be found guilty.
Well, they will, because that's every football fan would do the same in the same situation.
Yeah, and that's like we've been, and we are, with the spotlights on us and everyone's saying we've done wrong, it's terrible, this, that, the other. I get it, but when you see a club possibly in breach of 115 of those things, and we have just desperately tried to do something. You spoke about those 3 things about the owner. Sustainability